On the LMS portal, you have a lab manual, which is a file and a print. So when we go to a file and a print services, this is what the overview we have. How will you go and secure file in a folder? How will you go and protect the share folder when you shared it? And then how you can go and configure the network printing, right? So these are the different module or different, you can say, topics which we are going to cover here, right? So let us start with our own lab, that how we can go and do a file and a print sharing. Okay. uh, what is file and print server in Microsoft? Okay, so before understanding the file and a print server, let's understand that how the file and the printer is treated internally by the Windows, okay, by the Microsoft. So Microsoft is very clear that in their own operating system, everything is treated as an object, right? So for an example, when we create a file, it's called a file object. When we create a folder, it's called a print folder object. When we create a printer, it's called a printer object. And when we create an Active Directory object like a user group, computer, or OU, it's called an Active Directory object, right? So since it treat everything as a different object, so security for the or the object is always different from one object to another object. For an example, when we go to a file security, when we go to a file, can you go to a file folder? Go to a folder in a yeah. Go to a folder and click that child. Click that child. Double click the child. Now this is a file. Let's understand what are the file security say. Right click and go to the properties. Go to the security and look at the security. What it says: full control, modify, read and execute, read, write. Correct. So what all we have: full control, modify, read and execute, and read. Now go to the folder. Let's see what the folder security says. Go back to the folder. Right click. Go to properties. Security. What is said that full control, modify, read and execute. And now we have a different. What is that? List folder content. This was not there in. This was not there in file, right? Right, because this is treated as a different object by the Microsoft, so it give a something new permission here, which is called list folder contents. Now can you go back to the printer and check what the permission the printer give? Go back to the printer. Right click the printer, yeah, and go to properties. Go to the security. Oh my goodness, here is a totally different permission, right? Here we have a something called a print, a manage printer. So it means that file has a totally different security. Folder we have a totally different security. Printer we have a totally different security. Now can we go and check what is the security it's displaying in a Active Directory? Go back to the Active Directory user and computer. Yeah, go to the tool, user and computer, expand that officer.com. Now right click that let's create an OU. Let's create an OU. Right click officer.com and say new OU. So it's a new object, okay, and it's an Active Directory object. So create an OU, give it a name like test, click OK. Right click the test Go to the property. Oh, okay. Click cancel. Go to the view menu. Go to the view menu and say that user group computer as a container. Okay. Now right click, properties. Oh, again go and on the advanced feature. Go to view menu again. View menu and say advanced feature. Okay. Now right click the test. Properties. Now go to the security. See, it has a totally different permission, right? It said something like create all child, delete all child, right? So it means that active that your Microsoft is treated everything as a different object, and since it treated as a different object, the permission on the object is totally different. So it means that if you are working with the Microsoft, you have to be very very careful that which object you are working, right? While the Linux is more simple, Linux treated everything as a file. So it said that since I treat file as a file, folder as a file, printer as a file, hard disk as a file, so I treat everything as a file. So I only implement three security: read, write, execute. That's it. That's plain. But in Microsoft, everything is treated by as a different object, and since it is has a different object, each one is treated as a, it has a different kind of a permissions. Okay. Now go back to the PPT. Cool. So this is clear now that Windows object based permissions it implement, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. Now let's understand that every object have its own security model. Okay, so it means that this security model, what we have seen here, is called as an ACL, access control list. The access control list has a two uh, you can say a parameter, or you can say a two object of the ACL. One is called the ACL has a two component, right? One which is called as an identity, who means who you want to give the permission, and then the permission itself. Permission means which is called what. Okay. So when you go to your folder back, go back to your folder and right click and go to the properties. Right click and go to the properties, security. Now this is called ACL, access control list. Okay, this access control list has a two portion, one which is called as an one which is called as an one which is called as an identity, right? So this one is called identity. Second one is called permissions. Okay, so first one is called identity, second one is called permission, and this whole bunch is called as an access control list. So Microsoft has implemented ACL for every object, right? It's not only ACL, they say that whatever the permission I have assigned to you, how you are going to use it, how you are going to use it, and this is called as an DACL, dynamic ACL. So go to the advanced, go to the advanced. Now you have a something called auditing. On top, you see there is a something called auditing. Yes, click configure. Right. So auditing means that who are going to access this and how they are going to access this, everything is getting logged. Every portion is getting logged where in a event viewer. Right? So for an example, let's say add here, add Abhishek. So I want to see that how the Abhishek is accessing these folders, because we have assigned the permissions to the Abhishek. Now here you can say whether what all events you are going to log. For an example, if Abhishek try to read the file, do you want that when the Abhishek is able to read the file, that event should be logged? Then you have to check it, yes. Or when the Abhishek try to read the file and because of the permission is denied, he is not able to read the file, you can say that when the event is filled, it get logged. So all the events which is related to the excess of the permission is getting recorded by the Microsoft also, right? This is called DACL, dynamic ACL. Cool. Now just go back to the your PPT. Good. So every object have its own security model, which is called ACL. ACL is constitute of a two component. One is called identity, who can get an access. Second is called permission, what the access can be granted, right? Second, you can also monitor that whatever the permission has been assigned to a user, whether the user is using it in a right way or a wrong way. You can get the full event by enabling the audit. That is called a DACL, called dynamic access control list, right? Now the second most important thing is that the ACL said that the complete permission which is assigned on the object, that that permission is can be different when this object is getting shared. So for an example, if I have a folder and on folder Abhishek has a full control permission, but when I try to access this folder through a share, uh, through the share, and on a share the Abhishek does not have a permission, then Abhishek cannot access it. Let's say for an example, go back to the folder, close it all. Cool. Now let's say right click the top properties and say share, sharing, the second tab. Good. Go back to the advanced sharing. Say share this folder and let's say share it with the name called sales. Instead of a top, change the name, change the share name to sales. So remember, your folder name and share name both can be different. Then on a permission, go to the permission, and here you just say that everyone has a read permission. Let's leave it as it is. So go to OK, OK, and now it's showing that Abhishek slash sales. This is the way you can go and access this, right? So just copy this path, go to your run. Now try to access this folder. Yes, you are able to see this folder, right? So now let's try to create a new folder here. So right click and say a new folder. You say that no, because you only have a read permission. Remember, when you directly log into the machine and when you are accessing that folder, you can get the full control, because I have assigned you the full control on the folder. But on a share folder, I have only given you the read permission. So when you try to access the same folder using the share, it will go and implement the most restrictive permissions on your object, right? So when you are going back, when you are going to your folder, just go back to the PPT, right? So when it says that when you try to access this folder, let's say go and say that uh, go back to the access control. Okay, so here I have an example that, let's say this is a top folder. Below that we have a two child folder. Each child folder have a two different files, right? On a top folder, a user one has a read write execute permission, while the user two only have a read permission, right? The very first thing you will surprise that when you go to the security of the folder, subfolder and the file within that folder, you will found that this complete permission which has been granted on the top folder has been already inherited and assigned to all the child objects, including the subfolder and a file. This is called a permission inheritance. So ACL has a very first attribute is that ACL can get inherited on the child object. Okay, the very first thing is that ACL can get inherited on child object, right? So this is a very typical Microsoft, you can say a flow where it say that the permissions of the top object can get inherited to the child object, right? But you can as an owner of the file, you can go and add the additional permission to the child folder. Okay, child file and a child folder. So go back to your folder again, go back to the folder again, and now see that on a security, go back to the security of the top folder, go to the security of the top folder, and here let's say you have everyone, give everyone a full control. So click and add it and give the full control. So where you have assigned this permission, you have assigned this permission on a top folder. Click apply, click OK, click close, go back inside. Now go inside that top folder and go to child 2, go to the right click the child 2, right click the child 2, go to the properties, go to the security. Cool. So that everyone is already inherited, right? And it also get disabled for you so that you cannot alter this permission, correct? Now let's say for an example, if you want to add another user which is not coming from the top, you can do so by using the edit command. So you can go to the edit, and here you can go and add the additional user which is not in the inherited list, right? But for an example, if you want to do the changes of the inherited list, so let's say for an example, everyone is coming from top and you want that the everyone should not have a full control permission on my child, then you first of all you have to either block the inheritance, either you have to remove the inheritance, right? So click cancel and let's see how this inheritance can be blocked. So click OK. Good. Here you have an advanced button. Go to the advanced, and below you will be able to see the change permission, right? So click change permission. Now you have an option to include inheritable permission from the object, right? From the parent. Second one, yeah. When you remove that, it give you a two options. Option one is that copy. Copy means it will stop the inheritance, plus it also retain all the permission which is coming from the top. Okay. When you see remove that, remove means that inheritance will stop, plus all the object which is coming from the top will also will get removed. So let's say I want to say that I want to stop the inheritance, but I want to retain all the object. So go ahead and say add. Cool. So click OK now. So your inheritance has been removed now. Click OK. Now, yeah, go back to security. Click OK. Click OK. Good. Now all your permission has been get highlighted. So you can go back to edit, and let's say for example you want to alter the permission for an everyone. So here you can, below the checkbox is now enabled. So you can say that yes everyone, you can remove the full control and you can just give the read write whatever the things you want, right? So it means that the permission from top to bottom is get inherited, but you as an owner of the child object, you have already have an authority to block the inheritance, and you have a two-way. One is to remove the inheritance, and second one is to stop the inheritance and retain the object. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good, right? So this is how the Microsoft complete security flow has generally worked, right? Now go back to the PPT. Yeah, come to the third one. But when the same folder is get inherited, right, the situation get changed. When the same folder is get inherited, shared, the situation get changed. So for an example, on the folder one, on the top folder, user one has a read write execute, and user two have a read. On the child folder, I have a user one read write and execute, and user two has a only read permission, right? But what I did now, I have get this folder shared. So when I share this folder, and I have set that user one only have a read write on a share, right? So when they try to access the share folder, user one only able to read the data, they do not have a write permission. While on actual folder, the read permission plus write permission plus execute permission has been granted to the user, right? So it means that when you share any object in the Microsoft, the share permission is always take the precedence on the folder or the object permissions, right? So it always a remembering thought that how the permission will get implemented when you are using the share is that the share permission plus the object permission both combined, and which one is the most restrictive will be implemented, will be effective. So let's say for an example, on the folder I have a read and write, okay, and on the share I have only read. So which one is more restrictive? Let me say, on the folder I have a read and write, okay.
Yes, sir.
On but when I share this folder, I have only given the read permission on the share folder. So which one is more restrictive?
Read one.
Which one is more restrictive? Only read, right?
Read one.
Right. So only read will be get implemented when you are using that most restrictive permissions in Microsoft, right? So go back to the third folder, you will see that how the most restrictive permission works. So here I have given an example. Here I have given an example that when a folder has only read permission, share has a read permission. So combined together, the effective permission coming is called read when the user try to access the same folder using the share. Now let's say folder has a read plus write, but on a share I have only given the read permission to the user. So the most restrictive permission coming as a read, so only the read permission will apply, right? Let's have an example. On a folder permission we have defined no permission, but on a share we have defined all permission. So when the effective permission come, it's always more restrictive. More restrictive is that there is no permission at all. Now on a folder I have given all permission, while on a share I have not given any permission. So the most effective permission is always come no permission at all. Good, right? Now let's say for an example, go back to the folder, top folder. On a top folder, user has a full control, right? I have given the full control permission for the user. Now go back to the properties, go back to the sharing, go to the advanced sharing. and go to the permission. Now deny this permission. Remember, on a folder user has a full control, but on share I have say no permission at all. Now click OK and apply and try to access the folder again. Yeah. Remember, folder has a full permission, but on a share you have a only read permission. There is no permission at all. Now try to access // Abhishek /sales. Close it down. No, close because it's taking from the cache. Yeah. Now it's saying that, sorry Abhishek, you cannot access this folder. Surprisingly, on the folder I have a very full permission, right? I can do anything. But the moment I try to access the same folder using the share, it said that, sorry guy, you do not have any permission at all. Why? Because the most restrictive permission is no permission. So that is get apply on when I try to access the folder using the share, right? Go back to the PPT. Now, same thing get happen when you are having a printer. Scroll down. Same with the printer, right? So when you have a printer, you have a permission like a print. When in a share also, if you give print, then the effective permission will come as a print. When on a printer itself, if you give a manage printer, but when you share it, you have given the manage printer, the effective permission will come as a manage printer, right? So let's say if you remove the manage printer from the share of the printer object, user cannot access this printer at all. They say that there is no printer in the Active Directory, right? So this is how the whole permissions has been worked, right? So when you are implementing a file share, when you are implementing a file server, right, this you have to be take care when you are actually working with the assigning a different kind of a permissions in the Microsoft print file server, right? So now let's implement a file server in Windows, and let's see that how this print how all this permission will go and work. So how we will do that? Go back to the server now. Go back to the server now. Okay, go back to the role. Just close it. Close this. Go to the server manager. Go to the server manager. And you see there is something called file and a storage services is there this side. Cool. So this is your file and a storage services. It says that this is going to be your file server, right? Now you can see, you can check that how many volumes we have, means how many storage we have in this file server. So go and click volume. It will say that you have only one volume, that is a C drive, and that is a fixed volume. It show you the total capacity. Good. Now you say that in this file server, let me to share the folder, right? But to have a share folder, you need to first create a folder in your server. So let's say go to the C drive and create a folder called data. Create a folder called data. Create another folder called backup. Okay, let it be 2, otherwise it can be a thousand of folders. It's actually in a file server. Okay, now go back. Go back to your screen, back screen. Okay. Now below you see there is something called a share, right? Can you click that? Yes. Yeah. So first you have to go and add that feature. So say yes, go and say simply say next, 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 and install. So we are now installing the file share feature. Yeah. Good. Now you have go to the task. Now go to the task. In a share you have a no. In a share itself you have a task. On this side you have a menu. Yeah. Click drop down and click this share. Good. So let's go with the quick share. Yeah. So you have a C drive and now you select the custom path. Say browse. Yeah. Click data. Select folder. Go next. Give it a same name if you want. You can change the name also. Right. In a share description you can type that probably. Uh, all the user can store their file data here. Click next. Now here the very first option is saying that enable access based enumeration. It means that if you are creating a file server object, you have to be very careful about that, what the permission you are going to assign on the folder or the object. Otherwise wrong permission means that unauthorized user can also get the access of your very important file data, right? I said that yes, please enable it. Click next. Now here you have an options now to get the permission controlled, right? So for an example you can go and say that customize the permission, and you can define that which user has a permissions, right? So let's say for an example you can add and say that go to the add and select a principal on a very first, yeah. Give it a everyone, click check name, click OK. Now give only the read permission for an example, right? So this is the way you can alter the permission, right? And below, hold on, below also you have a condition, right? So go to the condition also, click and add a condition. So here you can define that, let's say the user is a member of this group, then only do this permission, right? So drop down that user. So it's only related to a user. Now drop down the group also. Good. So authentication silo, no, we do not have anything. Go to the member of each. So say that for an example, not a member of any particular group, or a member of only a particular group. It means that until and unless this user is not a member of, let's say, a finance group, right? Then they cannot get the access. Even if I explicitly assign the permission to the user, they are not able to get the access at all, right? So we can define the condition also. Cool. Now go to the next. and say confirm. So which protocol it is using? It is using the a small message block which is called as an SMB protocol. Okay, click create now. Perfect now. Click close. Now you see that your folder data will start getting shared here, right? Click data. Click data. In a share, na, you see it's three share folder: chessball, netlogon, and then you have a data. Data is coming on top. Yes. Good, right? Now go to the share. Below on this side a menu item, you are on a volume right now. Click on share. Not here, not here, not here. Hold on your mouse. Good. So this is the data folder which you have shared, right? Now you see that in this data, in this particular folder, everyone can store the data up to 14.5 GB. So you as a single user can store this much of data, but this is not good because this is the total capacity. So you want that no, each user I even only want to give, let's say 100 MB quota or maybe our 10 GB quota. You have to define some quota, right? So here is a quota, but to enable the quota, you have to install some feature here. So go ahead and install the feature on the Windows Server. Yeah, cool. And say install. Good. Now go and enable the quota. Go back. Yeah, click. Right. So you can enable the quota that let's say each user can go and store up to let's say only 100 MB. Right. So click that and say okay. So it means that the 100 dB. Hold on. The 100 dB quota will get implemented, and how the user will get notified once the user will have a 85% of their quota full. They will get an email if your organization also have an email server of Microsoft like Microsoft Exchange. Second, when the user exceed the quota by 95%, the event viewer will generate an event and say that you are reaching the 95% of the quota, but it also send an email. Once the user reach the 100%, again the event viewer will log the event and also you will get an email notification. So this is how you can go and control that how much data each user can go and store inside this particular data folder. Okay, click OK now. Clear, all clear?
Yes, sir.
Right,
Yes. Yeah.
right. So this is the way you can go and define the share folder in uh, 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 file server in Microsoft, right? And how the user will go and access this data? They have their own file server, name and IP, and through this name and IP they can go and slash slash and they can give the folder name or the file name. Okay, and through which they can go and access the data and they can manage the complete centralized file server storage management. Cool.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is the Microsoft file server. and this is how you can go and implement the file server security along with the when you are working on a Microsoft, right? Second important service is called a print server. Can you go and install the print server?
Can I go, sir?
No, no, hold on, hold on. Go next, 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 next. Select your print server.
So,
यहाँ पे print हाँ click that.
print the document
हाँ
selected,
हाँ
sir.
हाँ हाँ.
Should I include all these three?
Yeah, you can select.
What is LDP service?
LPT is called if your printer is directly connect with your server through a port. One is a network printer, na, which is connected through a LAN card, right? One at the home you have a printer, na, which is directly connect through the line printer. You can say console port to your laptop. Click
First
install.
one.
Good. Now go to the tool. You will get something called as a print server. Scroll down, print management here. Click that. Good. So what all tasks you can go and perform here, right? Number one, this is your print server, right? So number one is that you have to add the printer. You have to add the driver. So if you have, let's say, a printer or maybe a network printer, how will you do that? Right click the and say add printer. Click add printer. Yes, you say that if you have a network printer, how will you go and connect? You will add a TCP IP and a port and the IP address, right? So go next. So here you have to give the IP address of the network printer and the port number. So generally it will take the port number automatically. So let's type any printer which is a false one. I do not have any printer as of now, right? So yeah, just type 10.0.0.1. Okay, say next. So now it will try to find it out where is that printer. If the network printer is online and available, it will go and connect with that network printer here, right? Okay, just cancel because we do not have any printer as of now. Just cancel that. Okay. So once printer is installed, now you have a few default printer. Just right click that any of the printer. Good. Now here you have all the options which you can manage through the print server. Number one, you can watch the queue. How many printer queue has been there? You can pause the printing if any printing is going on. You can set the priority of the any document. Right. Let's say you have a 10 printing request has come and one document need to be print immediately. You can enable the priority. Right. So this is how the whole things you can go and define. Plus you can also go and manage the sharing, right? Now go to the properties. Yeah. Okay. Security. Here you can define that who had the permission on this printer, right? Okay, and plus also you can go and define the sharing. You have a sharing option. You see, sharing option. Yes. So you can go ahead and share this printer also, right? Remember, when you share the printer, this printer can get access by everyone, right? On the basis of the permission, whatever the permission you assign, you can get the complete control on the printer, right? So with the print server, what all you have to do, you can add the printer, you can add the driver, you can manage the printer, like stop the queue, upgrade the queue, and you can assign the permissions on the printer. You can also manage the sharing and the sharing related permissions. Okay.